Hey folks, welcome to my Best of Designers series. Today we're taking a look at a designer who's been making games for a long time, and that's Rüdiger Dorn. Now, he would be what I think we would call the essential Euro game designer, has made a lot of great stuff. Some of them, though, have a lot more theme than you might think, and some of my first games when I got into the hobby were from him, and at the same time, there's some very recent stuff that he's done that I'm liking too. So let's take a look at my 10 favorite games from Mr. Rüdiger Dorn. Number 10 is Emerald. Now this is a long time ago game with a dragon, and the dragon, this is one that's not very theme filled, but in this game you're going to be moving. It's almost like a race game, but the number of spaces you move is based on the number of people in each space. It's a pretty simple game, but I thought it was a lot of fun. Number 9 is Il Vecchio. Now, Il Vecchio is a game that my last line of my review, I remember saying something along the lines of, good game, but if I never play it again, I won't mind. And I still kind of feel that way, but there's a lot of great mechanisms in this game. It's like the quintessential Euro game as you move here and do this and go around here and you're moving around this board, trying to go to different spots. But it is a very tightly put together game, Il Vecchio. Number 8 is Las Vegas. This game, which I believe was nominated for the Spiel des Jahres, in which it's just a rolling dice game. There's a lot of these dice style games where you're going to be rolling dice and taking different spots in the middle here and trying to get money. And I know there's an expansion for this, which I haven't played, but this is a fairly light game. And so I was like, it's pretty good. But a lot of people really enjoy it. One I think a lot of people should check out, Las Vegas. Number 7 is Arcadia. Arcadia is like a town building game. It's almost Tetris style as you're putting out these different places, getting to different areas out there. There's a little bit of a three-dimensional look to the game. It's certainly a visually feastful game, where you look and say, ooh, that just looks really good, but also has some good mechanisms behind it. Number 6 is Karuba. Karuba is not really a roll and write game. It's a tile placement game, but it's one of those games where you can play with a huge amount of players as each person puts out a tile trying to connect things in the right order. This did win the Spiel des Jahres. It's a very popular game, and I think part of that is the fact that you can play with a lot of players and everyone's kind of focused on their own board. Number 5 is Istanbul. Also, this one won the Kennerspiel. He wins a lot of awards. Istanbul is a very good game, a little more in-depth than some of his other games, and you have a bunch of tiles on the board, but making the city of Istanbul, and you're moving workers around, and there's multiple ways to win, to get money, to get gems, and things like that. And each game, because of the board layout, is going to be different. That's Istanbul. Number 4 is Steam Time. Now, Steam Time is pretty close to what I would call a point salad game in which there's various ways to get points in it. But first of all, I think the theme is really fun. It has like the steampunky style theme. But also, you're going to be getting different tiles that are going to enhance the different actions that you'll take later on. There's a lot of different options in this game. There's a little bit of a not time flow element, but as you place things, you can only go certain places depending on where you placed before, but there's a lot of room for upgrading, and the game is going to be vastly different from game to game. Really an excellent game that really didn't get a lot of love, but I like it. Number 3 is, Los Monfos. This is a game that you haven't heard of probably. I think the English translation is like Donkey Poop. It's a hilarious kids style game, but pretty good for adults too, as you have these 3 donkeys which are moving around and you're feeding them food, and every once in a while you gotta poop out all the food, and before you do that, everyone's gonna guess how much food is in each donkey. And because they're moving around in a circle, you probably forgot. If you pick the same one as someone else, you have to split with them, so there's a lot of fun. It's really an excellent little game, Los Monfos. Number 2 is Goa. Go was one of the first games of his that I played, and it really made an impact on me. Go is the very definition of a game that pretty much has no theme. It's trading spices in the South Seas, I think. But it's like an engine building style game as you are going to be taking different actions, and you're bidding on different tiles and slowly increasing how good your actions are when you take them. A lot of different ways to get points. A very tight game, an excellent game, Goa. And my favorite game from Mr. Rüdiger Dorn is, it's a tie between 2 games that are pretty much the same game, and that's Jambo or Asante. This is a two-player game. Jumbo was first one, Asante is the second one. They're totally compatible. In this game, you are trading. You are a trader. It's a two-player trading game. As you are trading resources for other resources and filling it up, you get animal cards, which allow you to attack the other person. You get item cards, which help you. You can trade back and forth. You can increase the size of your trading. Man, this game is so very good. And because there's so many different cards in it, and the expansion, and Asante if you add it in, that every game is going to feel completely different. It's easily a game I'm going to keep in my collection. One of my favorite two-player games, actually. So those are my favorite games from Rüdiger Dorn. Tell me what you think your favorites are. Which ones did I miss? Which ones did I have on there that shouldn't be on there? Tell me in the comments below. Until next I know, I'm Tom Vasel, and this has been Best of Designers, Rüdiger Dorn.